this is Judy. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to it. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you could. It really helps the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I re-ink my ink pads. Now this is a new ink color that we just got this year with the new catalog, so I haven't re-inked it yet. And I also made some labels for it, and I used to write them with Sharpie on the side so I could see it, because sometimes you can't see it with the white on the lighter colors. And I need to put the name on both sides and the top portion, because when you have them all out on your table, sometimes they get mixed up, whatever. I make little labels here with my brother. Just want to show you this P-Touch really is nice. You can make large labels, large type, or very small, so this works out well. And I just cut it, trim it down, and stick it on the sides of my ink pad so I can read it a little bit better than how it is. The little tapes are a little expensive. You can get them cheaper on Amazon and other places, but for as much as I use them and the convenience, I think they're well worth it. It's a nice little machine. And at the beginning of the year, I try and update all of my products, re-ink them, clean them, unstick them, all the things so that they're good to go. And I know it's been done. Otherwise, I would say, oh, did I do it? Did I do it? If I just do it at one time, at the beginning of the year, and do them all, whether they need it or not, then I don't have to question. Sometimes during the year I do have to re-ink some of my ink pads depending on how much I use them. I have two sets of the inks, one for classes and one for my personal use. Sometimes they get interchanged, but that way if one is used a lot and I don't have the re-inker handy, I can put my own in there. So here's my other ink pad. I'm going to put this label on here. So when I re-ink them, and let's say you only have one, because it's normal for most people not to have more than one of the same color, and you buy the re-inker. I always buy the re-inker for any stamp pads that I put my money into, because the stamp pads last a long time as long as you have ink to put in them. So shake it up, just in case there's any sentiment. I can't tell because it's dark, but I've never seen any sentiment, but just because it makes me feel better, I shake them up. And I will put them side by side. Now, as you can see, they look pretty well. They look pretty good. But, you know, just because I know I'm going to re-ink all of my ink pads, I'm going to add some nonetheless. So I just squeeze it out and see how quickly some of it absorbed. Like there's more ink there. So I'll add some more and see how quickly it goes. Still a little quick. Okay, that's pretty good. So it wasn't an immediate absorption. So this one's pretty quick, so that I know this one's more used. And I'll just keep adding it until, see that, it's a little bit less. So I don't want to over ink it, because then you could get ink everywhere, and that's not a good thing either. So those are pretty good. Now, if you only have one ink pad, you can get out a scraper or a credit card and just gently run it along the top, get that ink spread throughout your ink pad. So when you go to ink it, you don't have deep, intense color in one spot and not in another, because you really don't know if the ink is going to transition throughout the whole ink pad by itself. You're just going to help it along to make sure it's good. And because I have two ink pads, I have the benefit of going like this, and then I can squeeze them together, and this will distribute the ink throughout the ink pad and makes it really flat and even. All right, so that is how I re-ink my ink pads, and probably something you should do if you ever have a dry ink pad. You can always get a new one, but the re-inkers, I don't know if I've ever ran out of one before the ink pad has been retired and I don't use it anymore. I usually sell them with the re-inker several years after they're out of stock. And so I've never run out of ink using a re-inker, so they last a long, long time, well worth the money. So I hope that helps, and Happy New Year, because it is after January, and that's why I'm doing all of my re-inking and cleaning. And I'll also take my scissors and clean them with some alcohol wipes, just to make sure none of the stickies on there. I might have to use some Goo Gone depending on what's on there, but it keeps them nice and sharp and easy to use. They last a long time, and I use them for many things I probably shouldn't, because they are so sturdy and sharp. And if they ever come to the point where I can't use them, I'll replace them. But they have lasted a long, long time. Great quality product. All right, have a wonderful day, and Happy New Year again. Bye.